Hello and welcome to Mansion Park here in Altoona, Pennsylvania. We have the District 6 championship game between Juniata Valley and Bishop Guilfoyle. The Hornets will be the away team. The home team here are the Marauders. I am J. Max Hurley. Alongside me here is Coach Shane Thomas. He has been with you the past 2 weeks. I've not been able to make it to any games. Appreciate it, Coach, for taking over for me and doing such a great job on the 2 playoff games leading up to this.
Glad you can make it tonight. I kind of got put on the spot in that last week and the week before, but hey, I enjoy talking about football anytime I get the chance to, and to anyone who's willing to listen. So, and my season's over, so I might as well talk some JV football.
Yeah, and what's better to how to learn to do this kind of thing and just be thrown into it? You know, that's the best way to learn. I'm still learning every time. I'll tell you what, I was very nervous to go live here today, but it seems to be once I start talking, it just kind of gets a little easier.
Yeah, I think we're ready for a good football game tonight, too. This is definitely a budding rivalry over the last couple of years, and I think both teams are pretty hot right now. We should be in for a good football game tonight.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because, like you said, this is a pretty good rivalry game now. I know just going back a couple years, you think, coming from a Juniata Valley, you think, oh, BG, that's not going to happen, I mean, we went through some tough losses, some big blowout games, but then all of a sudden, last year we came in, I believe the final score was 10-3 in that game when we met them in the playoffs last year. I could be wrong on that. It was very close. We held them to...
I was thinking 9-6 for some reason.
9-6. It could be something. I know it was very, very low scoring, and I'm not so sure we're going to have a low-scoring game here today, but I think it's going to be a close one.
I know, this is the 4th straight year we've met in the playoffs now, and previous 3 I was a coach. First 2 we took some pretty ugly losses. Then last year, I think it was one of those just prove we can play with them, and then we ended up pulling out the victory. Now this year I'm on the other side of things, but I think we're in for a good game. I don't think we're going to see a real high-scoring affair, but I would guess both teams are going to be in double digits tonight if I had to predict.
Yeah, and that's coming into it. I was talking to some guys up here in the booth. It seems like the overall expectation is maybe get into the, if you can get your team into the 20-point range, you probably have a really good shot of winning this game.
I think the big thing is I think Juniata Valley has a better array of athletes and maybe a better skill guys on both sides of the ball. But I think you have to give Bishop Guilfoyle credit, and they probably have the best player on the field in Keegan Myrick. The big thing is going to be is, he was dinged up last week in their playoff game against Salzburg. He didn't play the end of the game, but, he has a 1,500-yard rusher. I think he has another 300 or 400 yards receiving on the year. So if you can contain him, all of a sudden BG's offense isn't very scary with that big offensive line up front still.
Yeah, and I think that's really the sentiment of this game is can Juniata Valley's defense just do their job, do what they've been doing all year, make those tackles. I think it's going to be key here for BG for their offense. Like you said, the skill position guys, they're okay. They're nothing crazy to talk about other than Myrick, really. But if they can rattle off a couple huge, big gains in a row, this game could get ugly pretty fast. I think it's just important for that defense just to buckle down and do their job.
Defense got to play the run like they did last week in the second half. In the first half against Purchase Line, they kind of got gashed with the run, especially that I set, the fullback and tailback combination. They're going to see a lot of the same thing tonight. BG's not fooling anybody. They're going to line up in a bunch of different formations and give the ball to number 3 as much as they physically can. So you just have to be able to make sure that they don't get the numbers to the strength of the ball, make sure they don't get the extra blockers, and you get them on the ground.
And we are underway here. Jefferson Hill kicked off for the Hornets a little squibber. The Marauders will start with the ball about the 31-yard line. I believe that was number 13 on the return, Rother.
Valley did a nice job on that opening kickoff to get down there and rally the football. He had a couple blockers back, but then everything got kind of stymied there at the 30-yard line.
Now, one thing I found interesting throughout the whole season for the Hornets is their special teams. Jefferson Hill has been a great kicker all year. It seems like he can kick it down to about the 5-yard line, but they really pull for that squib kick. And I don't know, maybe as a coach you can attest to why they do that, but it seems to be a pretty telling thing that they've done all year. And right off the bat, we have a big play for Bishop Guilfoyle. That is Myrick rattling off
And see,
a
right
gain
there,
of about 20.
right there is exactly what you're going to see all night. They came out in that heavy set to the left. They had that heavy, the bunch set, and then right before the snap, they shifted. What they see with Valley shifts their defense to strength and weakness. So all of a sudden they're set up, they shift it, and then they quick count it, so there's not enough time to get reset. They end up with numbers of the ball, and you get a play like that.
They come to the line once again. Myrick under center. He fakes a handoff, or that's not Myrick, excuse me. That's Kieswetter. He gains a couple, gain of about 3 on the play. They'll bring up a 2nd down and 7.
And that's interesting to see on the second play. Myrick's on the sideline. I saw him down here riding the stationary bike, and he's kind of gimping a little bit walking on the field, so that tells me right away he's not 100%. He's coming out again on this play. Oh, nope, he's going back in. He's just fooling with us.
And I see it looks like he has a brace on that left knee, I believe. I'm not sure. Was that the injury that he sustained? I'm not.
It was a leg injury of some sort. I'm not sure exactly what it was. I just know it bothered him a little bit, and he left that game early last week. Still had a 120-yard night, I believe.
Yeah. He gets the ball here. He takes it over the left side. He's brought down about 3 yards shy of the 1st down. They'll bring up a 3rd and short for the Marauders.
The other thing I think you're gonna see too, we have to keep an eye on it, is number 76, Brady Bithell for Bishop Guilfoyle. He's a big boy. He's going to play college football at Robert Morris next year. And if you watch, they will flip him from left side to right side and try to run behind him as much as they can. He's a big boy.
Yeah, he is listed at 6'5", 305 pounds. I'd certainly want to run behind him if I had a choice. Just over a minute and a half here gone in the game. Marauders come to the line. That is Myrick. He keeps it, but some good defensive push there from the Hornets.
Hey, Grant Munster stacked it up real nice. He didn't make the tackle, but he was underneath a pile. He prevented any type of push and just stacked it up in the backfield. Myrick had nowhere to go, and some of his buddies came to help out on that one.
So that'll bring up an interesting play call here for the Marauders, and it appears as though they'll send the punt unit in. Say 4th and 4 from the Hornets' 37-yard line.
It's a tough spot right here as a coach. I mean, you want to go for it, but if you don't get this 1st down, the momentum swing is huge, especially early in the game like this.
That is, I believe, Gabe Brower back to receive for the Hornets. My eyesight's a little bit blurry. We're a long ways away from the field here. The punt is a low liner. It'll bounce about the 10.
Roll in the end zone.
And it will be a touchback. That certainly was the right idea there by the Marauders punter. Just couldn't quite execute, so the Hornets will have only a net gain of about 15 yards on that punt.
Yeah, that was a huge break the Hornets just caught there. That ball just rolls to the left a little bit, puts them up in the shadow of their own goalpost, and that's never where you want to start a drive at. Starting on the 20, there's a lot more of the playbook. It's open to your accessibility now, too.
And I will say, for the most part, the Hornets can be almost a spread offense type thing, but when they need to, they can just pack. They can just put all their big men in there, and they can just pound it right up the gut. It'll be interesting to see how they go back and forth in this game. Rupert throws it off.
Backwards. That's backwards.
Could be a rule incomplete. I don't know if we have a replay on that. Checking out the replay.
I tell you what, I think the Hornets got lucky there.
That was straight across. That was definitely lucky. He was standing on the 15 when he threw it, and it landed on the 15. That's definitely lucky.
Hey, I'm pretty sure all the Hornet fans will take that one right there.
Yeah, and I don't hear very much complaints coming from this BG crowd. So
sometimes better to be lucky than good on something like that.
Rupert lines up. He hands the ball off to Brower. He gains a couple there. Not much going for him. Gain of about 3 on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd down and long. 9 minutes to go here in the 1st quarter.
There they brought in that power 2-back set right there. They tried to run behind Beatrice in the right side of the line with Showalter and Kurtz, and they just really didn't get much push. It was number 50. Number 50 had a really nice job there at the defensive line. Adam Johnson, he had a really nice job standing his ground there. He was right at the point of attack.
Rupert sends a man in motion. He hands the ball off to Beatrice. He's trying to find a hole there. There's just nothing there. He'll be brought down right about at the 25-yard line. That'll bring up a 4th down and the punt unit should be coming in here for the Hornets.
So now, unfortunately, right there, the first drive, you get 4 yards on 3 plays. That does a couple things for you. One, it puts a little bit of doubt in your mind when you're the visiting team, especially, and it gives it extra momentum and extra juice to the Marauders' defense. I mean, they move the ball, 35, 40 yards on their first drive. Hornets can't do it at all. Oh, bad snap. Does a nice job getting it off.
That's a nice punt, too. That's, like I said, the special teams have been pretty good for the Hornets for the most part, especially their kicking and punt team. Hunter Johnson is an excellent high school punter, in my opinion anyway. He seems to be pretty good at getting out quick and getting a really nice punt off just about every time.
You missed one last week from him. It was a bad snap. He bobbled it about 3 times, then turned around and grabbed it and took off for a 35-yard gain off the left side. That's something nice about having a good athlete back there, too.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of our, defensive backs and wide receiver at times. I mean, it's certainly nice to have that speed back there in case something goes haywire, like it just did, and he was able to keep his cool and get a nice punt off. So that sets the Marauders up on their 34-yard line, 1st and 10. And Myrick has it. I believe that's Myrick back there, and he's brought down behind the line. That is not Myrick. That is Kieswetter. That's a loss of about 4 on the play. Good defense there from the Hornets. I'll tell you what, I'm not sure how their pass game is for BG's offense, but they had 4 guys pretty much out wide and only 2 guys covering them.
Well, I'll answer that one for you. Their pass game is basically non-existent.
Well, and that's going to be, I mean, that might be key going down the stretch, if they stick to this run game and in the 4th quarter they pull out some pass play. I mean, that might catch them off guard. I hope the Hornet defense, they stay home and pay attention.
They sent Myrick back in. Now watch. Number 1, that Janishak, he just motioned over to the right side. As much as they're going to give the ball to Myrick, and they're going to follow Janishak probably 85% of the times. So right there, obviously they didn't get the play off, but he motioned over to the right side. I would have bet money that they were carrying the ball to the right side behind Janishak.
And I guarantee you the Hornet coaching staff are well aware, and that defense knows those telltale signs.
Oh, yeah. Me and Coach Musser had a conversation about that earlier today. I tell you what, though. This is 4 straight years, and every time we come to Mansion Park, it is freezing cold out.
That is for sure. It is. We are in a nice booth here, and they keep it well heated, but, I mean, if you notice watching at home, there's no interference between the camera and the action. That's because we have this big bay window wide open, and just enough of a breeze to cool this little room off in a hurry. I certainly wouldn't want to be outside, but I also would like to have this a little bit more heated, I guess.
I mean, you see on the far side there, it's saying 34 degrees. I think the first year we were up here, it was right about 20 with a wind chill in the teens.
I remember that, yes. It was cold.
I also remember I was sitting in that far booth, and we had the heater cranked up, and I was down to a T-shirt sweating, so it worked out pretty nice for me. So they're shifting. They're going to run left this time.
And that's exactly what happens. Myrick has it. He's trying to get some blocks, so there's just nothing there going for him. He gets about 2 on the play. That'll bring up a 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12.
Looks like number 1 came up, Pencer. He came up with bad intentions on that one. He sat Myrick down pretty quick. He's not usually the hitter, but, hey, we'll take it.
When I can speak to this, going to school with him for however many years, it takes a lot to get him fired up, but on a stage like this, he's going to give it 130% every single play, and he's not going to be afraid to do things like that. I can guarantee you that. So 3rd and long here for the Marauders. That should be a false start, and it is. It's a little bit of a delayed call there. It kind of scared me.
You notice, too, again, Myrick's back on the sideline. He's obviously not 100%. I think something else to see, too, that first play where he took off and had that opening. If he's 100%, I hate to say it, but that's probably 6.
Yeah, because, I mean, another thing to look at, too, he walked right out of bounds. He was not looking to get hit. That's definitely not his style. So he's definitely not 100%, or else, I mean, on a first play you rip off 30 yards, you're not going to be on the bench very much.
Yeah. So now, I mean, they come out 5 wide. We're going to see what this passing game's all about. They've played 4 different kids at quarterback this year.
And it'll be a QB keeper. He gets a couple there, gets a nice push, and he ends up just shy of the 40-yard line. It'll be about a 4th and 6 with just over 6 minutes here in the first quarter. That'll bring up another punting situation, and the punting unit is back out on the field.
Right there's a pretty telltale sign of how Bishop Guilfoyle feels about their passing game tonight, too. Valley definitely has the athletes on the back end to cover their receivers, so they didn't even take a chance. I mean, I'm sure they're going to throw the ball at some point, but they're not feeling too good about it right now. Wow, there's a terrible hold on the far side.
And that punt will go out of bounds. It'll be marked at the 38-yard line. Good field position there for the Hornet offense. They're going to look to get a little bit more than 4 yards like they did in their first drive. They definitely seem to come out conservatively there on their first drive. I wonder what their game plan is here for the second drive of the game, especially with good field position here.
I wouldn't be shocked to see them take a shot here at some point. You know, I look at these matchups, and it's number 13 over here on this side for
that's Rother.
He's a 5'9" freshman, and I got Henser on him right now. I tell you what, I'd dial up a shot to him right now.
We'll see here, Rupert. He's making some changes. He gets under center here and hands it off to Beatrice there. Nothing doing for him. He'll be stood up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. They'll bring up a 2nd and 10 now.
That was interesting right there. They shifted that eye. Last 2 weeks, anytime they shifted the eye with Brower deep in the backfield, they ran a toss sweep to him. So I think they were, you know, hoping that Bishop Guilfoyle was sitting on that, and they tried that quick inside counter to Beatrice. They just didn't get no movement off those inside guys.
Coming out of the huddle here, Rupert's all on his own in the backfield. Sends a man in motion. That is Hunter Johnson. He'll get it. Met in the backfield. He'll be ripped down. Loss of about 4 or 5 on that play. Bring up a 3rd down and long.
That was Zach McCloskey on that tackle. I believe he's the 2nd leading tackler on the team. He plays that middle linebacker role. He's a pretty good football player. Him and I believe it's Janishak leads the team, number 1 from the defensive end position. He has like 75 tackles, something like that. But he also has 10 sacks on the season. So that's a couple pretty formidable pair. I'd make sure I get those guys blocked because it sure didn't look like anyone got up to that middle linebacker on that play.
Certainly a passing down here for the Hornet offense. They don't shy away from throwing the ball. At least they haven't all season. Rupert will drop back. Little screen here. He gets it to Henser. He's met immediately. That'll bring up a 4th down and about 18.
That was interesting to see there, too. I mean, it was 3rd and 15. It's definitely a passing down. And right now they've thrown the ball twice. Both have been quick screens. So I don't know if maybe they're a little nervous. Maybe have a little more respect for the secondary from BG than maybe I do from sitting up here. But they definitely aren't taking any chances here early.
Rother back deep to receive. Hunter Johnson back on to punt. Better snap this time. Johnson gets off. Not as good of a punt as the first time. Rother has a crease there. He has a nice seam. He gets around a couple guys and ends up inside Hornet territory about at the 40-yard line.
Right there is one that scares you as a special teams coach and just as a coach in general. He can catch that coming forward with a head of steam under him. When he caught that coming forward, it messes up the timing with the guys running down to make the coverage. If you notice there, Elliott Showalter, the long snapper, he had him kind of in his sights. If that guy has to stop, he probably makes a tackle. But because he caught it moving forward, he was able to make a move and run around Showalter on that one.
1st and 10 here for the Marauders offense. Just under 4 minutes to play here. Ball is handed off there. I'm not sure who's on, who has it. He has a nice open hole there. He gets down inside the 15, brought down at the 10-yard line. That's number 42, Zach McCloskey.
He made that big play on defense. Now he makes a big play on offense.
He is a big boy to have the ball in his hands. He's 5'10", 204 pounds. Big fullback. I'll tell you what, he showed some nice speed there for a fullback.
I was a little shocked on that one, too. They sealed off that edge really well, and then he was just out and running.
And I thought he was getting the ball there again, but Keysweater keeps it himself, and there's nothing doing for him. He'll gain about 1. We'll bring up 2nd and goal from about the 9-yard line, just over 3 minutes here in the first quarter.
That last play had a little midline action to it. So when you're on that midline like that, you're reading that down tackle. So that would have been Showalter on that one. What you do is you don't block him. You inside release him and read. If he's going to tackle the fullback, you pull it. If he can, the fullback can run right past him and he stays square at the line, you're just going to give it.
And Keysweater keeps it again. He's going to try to run it. Makes a little cutback there, but he's met by a couple Hornets, and it'll bring up a 3rd and goal. No gain on the play. In fact, he lost about a half a yard. Looks like we have an injury on the field. There's a Hornet defender down.
Looks like Grant Musser. Because he's the only one I don't see standing on defense still. Hopefully that's not too bad. I mean, that's a big loss both offensively and defensively. He's kind of the Swiss Army knife for the Hornets. He does everything. He'll run the ball. He'll throw the ball sometimes. He leads the team in catches. I think he's either first or second on the team in tackles on defense as well.
Appears as though they were working on his left leg, and he was reaching for his thigh. I'm not sure if he was reaching down to his knee or not, but he's being looked at by the training staff at Juniata Valley. We have 2 minutes and 48 seconds here in the first quarter. Still no score in the game. Coming out of this injury timeout, it'll be 3rd down from the 9-yard line, 3rd and goal.
The other thing we're looking at right now, we have this break. They're inside the 10 here, so they got one more shot. I'm going to say if they don't get inside the 5, they're going to kick it. If they get inside the 5, they're going to go for it. Now, one thing this year, they do have a new kicker. Their kicker from the last few years, he was one of the best not just in the state but in the country, and he's down kicking at West Virginia now. So that we'll be interested to see what their kicker's like this year, because that's something they've been able to rely on the last few years.
That is for sure. I remember coming up here a couple years ago, and for kickoffs, he'd kick it 10 yards through the end zone. That's just something you don't see in high school. Marauders come out of the injury timeout, 3rd and goal. They send a man in motion. That is Keysweater. He will look to pass the ball. He throws it to the corner of the end zone. There's a man there, and he catches it for a Marauder touchdown. That is number 1, Janoszak, on the reception. With 2:41 left here in the first quarter, the Marauders are first to put up any kind of score in this game, and that by way of a touchdown pass.
They had 2 wide receivers to the side here. As soon as I saw that guy coming in motion, it was a heavy to this side for sure, because there was an open tackle on the backside. And kind of figured that jet sweep was coming to the strength. They had 2 receivers in the end zone. Henser did a nice job on one guy, but Janoszak kind of snuck into the corner, and Hunter Johnson didn't react very quickly.
This is Keysweater on the kick. It is no good. That is not the Connor Keysweater, who we've been talking about. That's his brother Carson. So after the missed extra point, we have a score of 6-0 here. 2:41 to play in the first quarter.
Well, I guess that answers the question about the kicker right now too. That wasn't the prettiest in the world. I mean, the hold didn't look too bad, but that tells me something, from the Juniata Valley standpoint of they're probably 4-down territory when they get inside the 20 like that. Probably going to go for it, and probably don't have a whole lot of faith in the kicker. At least, if he's typically better than that, that's a different story. But it didn't look too pretty from my angle.
I will give a little update here. Grant Musser, he was able to get up and kind of jog off under his own power. I just wonder in this cold if he didn't get hit really rough, pretty hard hitting his leg maybe. I mean, that is a possibility. I'm hoping that's all it is, and we see him back out here shortly.
Cold weather like this, a couple things definitely change. 1, every hit hurts a little bit more. And 2, that football is hard to catch. So that's one thing you see as you get farther and farther in the playoffs. They always say 2 things as the way to win games in the playoffs: run the football and play good defense. They don't really talk about the passing game too often.
So we're lined up here. Marauders going to kick off. That is number 26. Abraham doing the kicking for the Marauders. Back deep is Brower for the Hornets. A shorter kick there. It'll go out of bounds around the 20-yard line. That'll be a penalty. Good field position for the Hornets to start this next drive. Still looking to do something with the ball here on offense. They have yet to been able to put it together any kind of drive.
No, I mean, they're still looking for the first down on their third drive of the game, and it's never a good spot to be. I'm sure the offensive coordinator over there is getting a little nervous and putting a little pressure on himself. But, hey, it's a district championship game. There's going to be a little extra pressure with everyone. You know, we get through this most of the way through this first quarter. Everyone just kind of settle in a little bit and get back to playing football like you know how.
Rupert lines up. That is Beatrice on his right. He'll move into the fullback position. That I formation, Brower in the back. Brower gets the pitch. He gets it on the right side. A little bit of push there from his line, but still not much going for him. That gives 2 yards for him, maybe. If I'm doing the math right in my head, I think even including that gain there, the Hornet offense, they're still negative 2 yards on the game, I believe.
You see right there, that was that I backfield with Brower back deep. They tried to run that sweep like I commented about earlier, and right before the snap, I don't know if you noticed, but on the far side, Janishak, the defensive end, he jumped out about an extra 2 yards, trying to make sure he didn't get outflanked there. Right there, he did it again.
And that's some good game plan in there from the Marauders. Brower gets it, met in the backfield. He tries to get around the corner. He does get the corner and out across the 40-yard line. He'll be brought down at the 42. That'll bring up a 3rd and 3. That's some good fight there from Brower. He made something out of nothing there, and that brings up a 3rd down and manageable for the Hornet offense with under 2 minutes here in the first quarter.
I got to give number 80, Hayden Fox, some credit on that. He was playing defensive end on this short or the side to us, and Showalter came across for the kick-out block to run that counter back underneath him, and he stuck him pretty good, did a good job not giving up ground, and he's the one that made Brower bounce that outside. Heavy set in now, Dively at fullback.
Beatrice gets the ball, and he will come right at the first down marker. I'll tell you what, I'm sitting right across the 45-yard line. He should get this, and that ball is spotted a little bit shy of what I thought. They might have to measure this one.
They gave it to him.
And they gave it to him. I think that is fair because that nose of that football is on that line, and if you look across there, that first down marker was slightly behind that line, maybe just about a quarter of an inch, but that straight line does not lie.
Well, with that, too, I mean, they started the ball on the 35-yard line. All they had to do was hit the 45. You know, with all these extra hashes and stuff, you're good. So as soon as that ball touches that 45-yard line, that's first down. Same set, big heavy set in the backfield again.
That is Brower in the backfield. We have whistles and a flag. A couple flags down. That was a delay game against the Hornet offense.
Boy, that felt really quick.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that one, honestly. I mean, they took some time there while they were looking to see if it was a first down, but that still was only 6 or 7 seconds.
Yeah. Biggest problem on that, with the 40-second clock this year, they take a little bit of time to look at that. They're supposed to reset the clock to 25, but that's only if it gets to like 20, 22, something like that. I mean, we're down to 10 seconds again already on the snap.
That's Brower. He does get the edge, it looks like. He'll get those 5 yards back and a couple more, gain of about 6 on the play. They'll bring up a 2nd down and 9. That probably will be the last play of this first quarter. So at the end of the first quarter, we have a score of 6-0 in favor of the Bishop Guilfoyle.
Really think right now, too, Juniata Valley just keeps trying to run this football, and Bishop Guilfoyle has a really good run defense. I commented earlier about taking a shot to Henser. I tell you what, at this point right now, just the way Bishop Guilfoyle is getting downhill and getting to stop this run, even if you don't complete it, if you take a shot, you try to take the top off the defense a little bit, that's going to loosen them up a little bit. Make those linebackers hesitate a second, maybe make them safety sit back a little bit longer, or, take their read steps, because right now they can just kind of come forward and help on the run game because they haven't really showed much of a passing threat so far.
It'll be interesting to see here what the Hornets do. I'm sure they're trying to figure something out in that huddle over on that far sideline. I'd like to take a moment here and thank everybody for watching at home. I'm not sure how many we have watching right now. We have over 500 viewers right now. At least that's accounts anyway. I'm not sure how many of you are watching per account, but that's pretty good. Keep sharing this video out and trying to get some more attention to this game. Tell all your friends or family members and people you may know that are not aware of Hornet TV. let them know, and let's see how many more viewers we can get here as the second quarter gets underway. Again, we have a score of 6-0 in favor of the Marauders.
Same thing again. They got that cover one set, and they still have that smaller freshman on Henser over on the far side. There they're going after him.
And there Henser has it. He's going to try to make a miss. A little stiff arm there. He's still on his feet. Still on his feet, being whipped around there. He eventually gets pushed out. He will have a first down on that play. It took about 5 guys of that defense to bring Henser down. He's not the biggest of boys either. Looking here, he's listed at 6 foot, 155.
Is that Henser?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty solid 155 if that's always listed. I'd give him closer to 170 if I had to
That's
guess.
what I was thinking too. Beatrice gets a handoff here. Nice push there from him. He gets about 8 on the play, and that's what I'm used to seeing from Ryan Beatrice. He has ran a lot harder this year than I remember a lot of high school running backs running. Of course, I'm only 19 years old, but still, I've seen a lot of running backs. He likes to run.
See right there too. That was one of those ones where they ran the Brower on the jet sweep quite often the last few weeks. And if you see the defensive end and a couple of linebackers flew out on that jet motion, that let Beatrice have a nice little seam on that backside to run through.
Rupert sends a man in motion. That is Brower. He makes a man miss, makes another man miss, reverses field, and he will be brought down. Ball will be spotted at the 45-yard line. They lose 8 yards on that play. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 now.
That play's a killer right there. I mean, you get to 2nd and short like that, man, you can do anything you want. And then all of a sudden we get this, one guy comes unblocked, drops you back to 3rd and 10. Now you're looking at passing down again. Wouldn't be shocked if they went back to that Henser matchup over there on that far side. Brought an extra secondary player in on this down for Bishop Guilfoyle.
Rupert drops back to pass. He looks for Henser. Henser has a step on his man, and that's not Henser. I'm sorry, that's Brower. I completely missed that one, but nevertheless, he has it inside the 15-yard line. Checking out the replay there. Nice touch pass there from Caden Rupert right over the defender.
Right there's that shot I've been calling for. You know, I think all that run game has been going on so far. If you see that the safety over top, he was slow getting over there to help out. And I think just running the ball as much as they did, that puts that thought in his head. They're probably a run-first team. Then it makes him a little slower getting over top. Brower did a nice job beating his man off the line. It was open down the sideline, and Rupert put that in a real nice spot out over his outside shoulder and in front of him.
About the same formation here for the Hornets. Musser back in the game. He gets in motion. Rupert is in the backfield. Just seemed like there was no one blocked on that play there from the Hornet offensive line. Great push there from the defense. They'll lose about 4 or 5 on the play. They'll bring up 2nd and 15. Under 10 minutes to play here in the first half.
I'm thinking that was supposed to be a quarterback run to the right, because if you look downfield, the wide receivers weren't really doing anything, but maybe the offensive line wasn't sure about that either, because they kind of gave some lookout blocks on that right side.
Yeah, I think there was some miscommunications there. Very uncharacteristic of the Hornet offense. Beatrice will get the handoff from Rupert. He gets some push there. He gets about 4 yards. That'll bring up a 3rd and 11. I think it is important to mention here, Jefferson Hill is a very good high school kicker, certainly within his range here. I'm not sure if they'll look to him in this situation or not. I guess it'll depend on what they get here on this upcoming play. They certainly can go to him for 3 points if they need to.
I'm saying if you get inside the 10 here, you look to go for it. If you don't get inside the 10, you got to kick it.
Rupert will drop back to pass. He has Brower, and he just overthrows him just out of the reach there. I think if a better throw there, Brower might have a chance to get the first down. There was a man there over top. I'm not sure if he's getting in the end zone on that play, but
I'm going to say he had a pretty good shot at getting to that pylon with the speed he has. He didn't have to use a whole awful lot to get there, and he had maybe 2 steps on that guy out there in the flat.
That'll bring out Jefferson Hill to kick. Caden Rupert will do the holding for the Hornets. 8:47 on the clock here in the first half. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up and is good. So that's the first 3 points of the game for the Hornets. That'll give us a score of 6-3.
I don't know if you could hear it across the microphone or not, but there's a BG fan down in front of us chanting wide left. So he didn't get his wish, and I think we're all glad about that one. Going to make it 6-3, and, you know, in a close ball game like this, them 3 points could be huge later on.
And I think it could end up being very important here that that extra point was missed, because if this happens again, we have a tie game at 6-6 instead of 7-6.
Sorry, I'm getting a chuckle out of our camera girl up here doing a little dance in the booth.
Should give a shout out to our crew. That camera girl is Hannah Thatcher. Producer Josh Wakefield. Brooke Booney is here somewhere. I haven't seen her. Where is she? She's standing outside. She's been helping out like crazy as well. She has another camera. I'm completely oblivious of that camera. Have you been using that camera, Josh? Oh, well, I've not paid attention at all. But
I don't know if you can see it or not, but Brooke Booney doesn't look too happy standing outside here.
No, she's outside in the cold. We're out. We're not in the warm, but we're definitely a lot warmer than she is.
She has quite an angry look on her face. I don't think I'd mess with her right now.
No, I wouldn't want to either. And if she has that door blocked down, I don't think we're in any danger of anybody coming in here.
That's a pretty good security guard out back. I'm not feeling too nervous.
No, especially you put a camera in front of anybody. No one's going to walk in front of it either. So, I mean, we're set up here.
It's even better yet because she is completely oblivious to what we're saying right now.
I'm pretty sure she knows we're talking about her, but that's about it. Jefferson Hill gets a nice kick. It'll bounce out the back of the end zone. Beautiful kick there from Jefferson Hill, and I was talking earlier in the game how he is very capable of sending them back for touchbacks. He's been doing it all year.
He muscled up on that one. I'm thinking he's a little excited after that field goal and got a little extra adrenaline pumping through, and he put a little extra juice into it, and you don't even have to make a tackle on that. That's the best coverage to have to make on a kickoff like that.
I will mention he's a big boy. He's listed at 6'3". I believe that is the tallest member of the Hornets. And it looks as though it's between, it looks like it.
Myers trying to the left.
And that is the case. He gets a little hole there, makes a nice little cut. He'll have about 14 on the play.
That's a frustrating thing as a coach, you know. I've been there a lot of times. I can sit here and watch those formations, know what's coming. I haven't watched a whole lot of film on BG. I've watched enough, but it's so frustrating when you're on the sideline. You can yell out all you want. This play's coming. This play's coming. This is what's going on. But if the kids on the field don't make the play, it doesn't really matter. So I'm sure we're going to see something again here. The shifting around the lineman.
Keysweater keeps it himself. He's looking for some room. He gets brought down from behind. I believe that is Jace Rand on the tackle.
I'll tell you what, when Keysweater's had the ball a couple times here, he's had a lane to run. He definitely had a lane to run on that, but it's almost like he's really indecisive. He turned around, he just started looking for someone that was coming to hit him, and nobody was there, and it slowed him up enough that we were able to run him down from the backside on that one.
That'll bring up a 2nd down and 5, now under 8 minutes to play here in the first half. The Marauders have a 3-point lead over the Hornets. And that is, I believe, Myrick with it, and it is. He gains about 4. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 1.
Hornets got lucky on that one. There's a late shift. Looked like they tried to bump it over to the strength, which was the far side on that last play. I think they even had an extra tackle over there with the tight end and the tackle spot on the left side. There was a late shift. The Hornets didn't quite get there. Thankfully, BG ran to the short side and the weak side on that one, or I think they had quite a bit of room off that right tackle on the last play. See, they shifted the tackle over again on this one, left side.
Big power formation there for the Marauders, and there's enough blocking there to keep the Hornet defense from getting any kind of push there, and that's a nice gain there. That'll take them out to the 50-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from there.
I'm a little surprised watching this BG team. You know, they're usually a really, really disciplined team. And if you see, they're making their late shifts to go heavy with their offensive line. It's late. Usually they run out of the huddle quickly. Now it's heavy to the left again. Now they're shifting over. It was Bithell and Janaszak and number 80 all shift to the right. They run to the right.
Kieswetter pitches it to Myrick. Myrick is met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. That'll bring up a 2nd and 10. Good defense there from the Hornets. Lost about half a yard on the play. Maybe. Actually, I shouldn't say that. He definitely did not lose half a yard.
Beatrice sniffed that one out. He did a nice job from the middle linebacker position running downhill to that. Hopefully he watched some film too. He looked like he had a pretty good jump on that right from the snap.
One receiver on the far side, one on the near side for the Marauder offense. Kieswetter will hand the ball off. I believe that is a fullback once again. McCloskey. And it is. He'll be tackled at the 45-yard line. Nice run there from him. That'll bring up a 3rd and 4.
Showed some nice patience on that run. He got a little bit of push right off the bat, but there was no crease for him to get through. He just kind of juked and jived back and forth a little bit till something opened up, and then was able to put his head down and get forward for 5 yards.
Third and 5 here for the Marauders. Myrick gets it. Direct snap to him, and he's met behind the line of scrimmage. He eventually gets back to the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up a 4th down and 5. Good defense there from Jacob Henser.
Looks like Coach Wheeler's down here thinking about it and thinking about it. Now he's sending the punt team on.
I think that's a good decision here with 5 minutes left to play here. Now under 5 minutes here. You got a 3-point lead. Hornet offense have only had one drive that they've put together, and they're going to have to, barring any catastrophe here on the punt, they're going to have to go a long way. Nice high punt here.
I don't think that really went anywhere, though. Well, it was inside the 20.
See where they spot it.
Say the 18.
18-yard line. That's not a bad punt there. So the Hornets will start at their own 18-yard line. 4:44 left here in the first half, down by 3. This is a little bit of a blind spot for me. I'm going to have to move around a little bit.
All right, so a little over 4 minutes, and Hornets saw a little bit of momentum on their last drive. Now they got to go 82 yards here on this against this tough BG defense.
Rupert will hand the ball off. I believe that's Beatrice with it. He gains a couple on the play. I would like to mention one thing. Our producer, Josh Wakefield, is having such a good time up here with all these options with the camera on the two of us. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but
I'm hoping he's not showing too much of us. I mean,
well, I just looked over a second ago and we were on.
Oh, there he is.
I'm just trying to pay attention to the game and not pay attention to the camera looking right at her face.
If you haven't noticed, but right now, to get in the press box, you did have to have a beard on your face.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I did shave down to a goatee for this because I knew it was going to be on camera and my beard just didn't look well. And Rupert sends a bomb downfield, and it is incomplete. I thought we were going to have a great catch on our hands there. Jacob Henser went up. Tried to get it at its highest point, but just couldn't quite bring it down. Good defense there from the Marauders. That's Rother on the coverage. He was with him every step of the way.
Right, that was a pretty good ball, but you wanted that to be about another yard and a half outside. That way you can work out to the sidelines. That one almost brought him back into the defender a little bit on that, which gave the guy a chance to get a hand on the ball. Brings
up 3rd and 8. Ball will be handed off to, I think that's Brower in there. I can't really tell. There's a lot of guys in there.
Yeah, that was Brower on the inside.
Loss of about 1. That'll bring up a 4th and 9. The punt unit will come on once again for the Hornets. Clock rolls down. There's 3:40 left to play here in the first half. They still trail 6-3.
The bad part on that one, too, I mean, you only picked up one yard on that drive, and with that deep pass, that did stop the clock, so BG's going to get this ball back with about 3 minutes left to go, and they have all 3 timeouts remaining, I believe.
No, they did take one early in the game. They are down to 2 timeouts.
They are down to 2?
They are down to 2, but that punt was not the greatest from Hunter Johnson. It'll be marked out at the Hornet 42-yard line. I may have jinxed Johnson slightly. I was really building him up for all these punts, and so far they've been okay. Nothing to write home about, but hopefully he gets – I'm sure the cold weather has something to do with that.
Oh, yeah, that's just like everything else. That ball doesn't compress quite as much. It doesn't pop off the foot as much. And I think you did jinx him. Make sure you knock on wood next time you give someone a compliment like that wearing white.
Marauders come out 1st and 10.
Jet sweep
Ball
this
on
side.
the 42. That's someone else that has the ball. I'm not quite sure who he is. Let me look here. That is Dylan Conrad. His first touch of the game. He'll get about 7 on that carry.
Conrad, that's definitely a BG name. I remember first time we came up and played him, there was a Conrad. I believe he played, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was a tight end. And I think he went to go play football at Harvard or Yale or something like that. So he was big, good at football, and really smart apparently.
Flag here.
That was a shift by BG. They tried to shift that bunch and the tackle over, and someone jumped off sides. Not sure who that was, but you got to be a little more disciplined than that, especially when you're looking right at the football.
That'll give the Marauders a first down. The ball will be spotted now at the 30-yard line. 2:42 left to play here. 2 timeouts for the Marauders.
Boy, this is a fast-moving first half, too. A lot of run the football.
Myrick has it. He is pulled down from behind. And I'll tell you what, I have not seen him run at all this year, but he looked a little bit weak. Like, didn't take very much to bring him down like that. I think you're right. He's definitely not 100%.
Yeah, all year he's been one of the best running backs in the area. I'm even gonna come out and say in District 6. He's probably gonna be a mirror all-star. He might even grant a little bit of all-state recognition, but he's definitely not 100%.
He'll line up to get the snap, and he keeps it himself. He's brought down, gain of a couple. Timeout called by the Hornets with 1:49 left in the first half. It'll be a 3rd down and about 8.
Not sure what the range on the kicker is. Typically you get to the 20-yard line. Most high school kickers at least have a shot at this one. So I'm interested to see what happens there. Valley took this timeout, so it looks like they're trying to figure a few things out on defense, or maybe they saw something on film that the BG has a go-to play on this, and same time, they're saving a little bit of time on the clock for themselves, knowing that they do have the capability to have a quick strike and big strike offense. Maybe they're hoping they can get another shot to get 1 or 2 shots downfield to Brower or Henser and see what happens.
It's tough a little bit down here. The building kind of gets
1:49 here in the first half to play. 3rd down and 8 for the Marauder offense. They have 1 man on the far side, 1 man on the near side. That is, I'm not quite sure. Who's lined up at quarterback there? It's Myrick. And he has a big hole right up the middle. He'll take it down, break a tackle. He'll reach for the pylon, and he'll be marked down just shy of the goal line at about the 6-inch line. I mean, there's not enough room between that ball and for another ball to go in without it being in the end zone. That's a big play there with 1:40 now to play. 1st and goal from inside the 1 for the Marauders.
They come out in that double tight set, but I'm not positive, but it looked like they moved the tackle over to the left side as well. It was 2 tackles to the left and 2 tight ends to the right. I'm going to guess right now Myers taking a quarterback sneak. There it is.
We got a push here, and they fall forward, and that usually means it's a touchdown, and it is. 1:33 left to play in the first half. Before the point after attempt, we have a score of 12-3 in favor of Bishop Guilfoyle.
I'm going to give the assist on that touchdown to number 77 for BG. Not sure who that was, but he didn't get his block. He missed his guy, and then he turned around, saw the quarterback beside him, so he just went Reggie Bush push style on that one and pushed him right into the end zone.
That was Reed Edwards, number 77.
Reed Edwards.
I think we have one of them on our side.
He plays backup quarterback for us.
I don't know. Maybe he can change during possessions. I'm not sure.
Reed, if you're listening and you listen to this later, you better not have been switching sidelines on us.
They line up for the two-point
Myrick to the
conversion,
right.
and Myrick to the right, and he will be in for the
Yep,
two-point conversion. 14-3 is our score.
That one hurts right there. That definitely hurts. You know, with a little bit of time left in the first half, and you remember back too, Junior Valley got the opening kickoff. So right now, if Valley doesn't do anything, you know, they're down 2 possessions coming out to start the second half, and BG has the ball first. So they really need to try to get something on the board here. You know, any points would work, but touchdown would be huge, because if they don't score, BG gets a score to start the second half. You know, all of a sudden that's a 3-score game, and all this, everyone running the ball like this, that clock just tick, 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 tick away, and next thing you know, it's the end of your game, end of your season.
I think this upcoming possession here for the Hornets, it could honestly end up being the difference in the game. I think they almost have to get points and get a little bit of momentum here going into halftime. If not, that halftime, it's going to be a little rough for them in the locker room.
It's a little scary right now, too. You really want a big return. You want to get this ball outside, at least outside the 30-yard line. Because say you get this at the 20, 25, first, second down, you throw the ball. There's still 1:10 left on the clock. You haven't moved the ball at all. And you're giving BG a chance to get the ball back. That's scary as well.
This is Keysweater. No, sorry, this is not Keysweater. This is Abraham doing the kicking. It's a low kick. It'll be caught about the 20-yard line. That is
Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson on the return. He'll take it back to about the 35. A little bit of fighting going on underneath the pile.
They were slow on the whistle there. I mean, he was down. He wasn't down on the ground. He was laying on a BG player, but his forward momentum was definitely stopped. They were still slow on the whistle, and someone from BG came in and tried to rip the ball out. So
127 now to play in the first half. Hornets come out, ball on the 35. I'll tell you what, that is one thing that is certainly different calling with another guy. We've been talking over each other here and there a little bit, but I think we're going to get better.
Hey, we got to learn on the fly, right?
It's been a long time since I've called with anybody.
This is only my 3rd game calling ever, so, you know, definitely my first with someone else.
And I believe that'll be a false start on the offense.
I was Brower on that one, and, you know, just being in a situation, not necessarily him, but just anyone, they start to get a little nervous when you get, you know, down like this, a little bit of pressure, a little extra pressure. You really want to get off the line and try to get open, but then you get a little antsy, and you can't give up 5 yards like that.
.127 on the clock. Rupert drops back to pass. No one open. He gets it to Henser. He has some open space there. Tries to make a man miss. He'll be ripped out of bounds on the far side about the 42, 43-yard line. That was close to being a late hit. It looked like he was just about out, and he was thrown down there on the Hornets sideline. Of course, it might be hard to tell from here. We're a long ways away from there, but
That's one of those ones I think he's going to get the benefit of the doubt, because he had a hold of him right before he went out of bounds. So, you know, it's the same motion. It just carried him out like that. So they're probably not going to call that a lot of times.
Rupert drops back to pass again. He will tuck it and run. Good job protecting the ball there from Rupert. He got a man behind him. Almost came in and punched that ball out. It'll bring up a 3rd down now.
I'm sure someone's going to take a timeout here. Valley definitely Valley took the timeout, but if Valley didn't, if I was BG, I was probably taking a timeout there with 3rd down coming up. Maybe try to get a chance to get the ball back again.
Yep, 1:09 left here in the first half. 3rd down and 2 upcoming for the Hornets. Just shy of 600 people watching now as I interrupt Coach one more time. Appreciate you guys tuning in to Hornet TV. Pretty good game here. Not very many big plays. Certainly low scoring like we expected.
What I started to say there, and, you know, It's one of those ones. I get it. No big deal. But on that last play where Rupert took off, that was definitely a pass play. Janishek did a real nice job getting upfield real quickly. He's lining up in that wide 9 technique, which is really tough for the tackles to try to get out to him. He has to, kind of retreat back and meet him. So he got upfield. He forced Rupert to step up, and Rupert decided to take off. What happened was the rest of the defensive line, they stayed in their good rush lanes, so he had nowhere to go. It looked like he had some space, but they were in their rush lane, so they were able to run him down pretty quickly for no gain.
So 3rd and short here. Rupert drops back to pass. He throws across the middle of the field. Musser had a step on his man, but overthrown there. Rupert was looking for a late hit there, roughing the passer. I was not paying attention to it. I didn't see it myself.
This is a scary situation I was talking about. There's still 1:04 left on the clock. BG still has 2 timeouts, and right now they don't have a guy back deep. Guys going nuts because no one is covering. No one was covering the far receiver. BG took a timeout because they saw that it's number 21 over there. I believe that's Eli Mortar. He was jumping around like crazy, like a kid on Christmas, going, "Hey, throw me the ball, throw me the ball." And the returner for BG saw it, and they called a timeout to cover that up. Right now, I would not be shocked if BG lines up in their best punt block formation here, tries to come after this one, because they got time. They get this ball in their own in Hornet territory. They got a real good chance to score. The other option is you could line up your best punt return, especially with this ball on the right hash. I could see them, putting some type of wall up to the far side, to the Hornet sideline, because there's a lot of room to work with over there. We'll see what they decide to do here.
Another interesting thing here to keep in mind, Marauders just used their 2nd timeout, so if they get even decent field position here, they only have 1 timeout to stop the clock with 1 minute left.
Nice thing in high school is with this first downs, the clock will stop momentarily, so it's almost like you get a bonus timeout or 2 in there.
Nice punt there from Johnson. Returner gets it on the run at the 20-yard line, going toward the far side. He'll be chased out of bounds at the 33-yard line. 54 seconds left here in the 2nd quarter. They lead 14-3.
This would be a time here for your 2-minute pass offense to step in, but BG has only thrown 1 pass the entire night, and that was on that jet sweep pass down here for the touchdown earlier. So we'll see what they do. Obviously, they have broke off a couple big ones through the run game. Right now, what you want to do if you're BG is see on this first down play, if you get a big gain, maybe 2nd down. If you get a big gain, you're going to try to get after it, try to use the clock, try to see if you can score. If you don't do much here, you probably just take a knee, which actually looks like that's what they're going to do right now, take a knee and take it to halftime.
And that is what they're going to do. They'll have to take 1 more knee.
I think the other thing, too, if they did have a passing game that they felt good about, you'd be taking shots on this big time.
Yeah, and I think if the roles were reversed here, even if the score was reversed, I really think that the Hornets would be taking shots down the field because they do have a passing game. It's not played a huge role in this game so far, but, I mean, that's how they've gotten the bulk of their yardage for the Hornets. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out along in the second half. If the Hornets can get anything going, the Marauders won't be able to come back very quickly because they don't have a passing game.
Well, I tell you what, if I'm the BG coach right now, this is killing me. This is absolutely killing me. I'd want to get out there and put another score up. But, again, they do get the ball first to start the second half. To say they score a touchdown, all of a sudden it's 21-3. And then if you're Juniata Valley, you got to press the rest of the game.
So at the end of the first half, we have a score 14-3 in favor of the Marauders. We will be back with you shortly before the beginning of the second half. There will be no audio for most of halftime, so be sure to stick with us, and if not, take a break and come on back in about 15 minutes, and we'll be right with you.
Head football coach Bill Musser. Thank you for your continued support of the Juniata. Hello, Hornet Nation. This is head football coach Bill Musser. Thank you for your continued support of the Juniata Valley School District and the JV Broadcast Club. If you enjoy watching our podcast, broadcast, and other online activities, please make sure that you take a look at making a donation to the Broadcast Club. These donations go a long way in helping us cover the broadcasting costs for playoff games and other events that we have in our future. Please go to the address you see on the screen and consider making a donation today. Go Green, Hornet Pride.
And welcome back here to Mansion Park in Altoona, Pennsylvania for the Single A District 6 football championship game between the visiting Juniata Valley Hornets and the home team Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders. Our halftime score is in favor of the Marauders, 14-3. Second half just about to get underway here. The Marauders will start with the ball. Interesting first half. Coach Shane Thomas here with me. Coach, what are your thoughts on that first half?
I think the first thing I noticed is, BG was able to establish that run game. And coming into it, I know that was one of the worries for Juniata Valley. They've had a pretty good defense all year, but this is definitely a bigger offensive line than they've seen probably all year. So they were able to run the ball at will. As you go into halftime, if you're the coach, you have one of two things. You can really lay into them, or you can say, look, guys, we won 10 games this year. We won a 6-game win streak. You're better than this. You need to step up. Don't let the stage be too big for you. You know how to play football. Don't worry about what's going on. Don't worry about the other side. Don't worry about who's across from you. Do your best. Do your job, and that's all we can ask of you. So right now, I'm going to guess that Coach Musser took that approach. I coached with him enough years to know what he's like. He's just going to challenge these kids to step up, play better, and do each of their jobs on every play.
Another short kick there. That's Jake Johnson has it on the far sideline. He steps out of bounds. I think he stepped out as he was catching it. I think that's where he was standing at the 19-yard line. That was, like I said, Jake Johnson on the return. Abraham was doing the kicking.
Well, I was wrong in the first half, too. I thought BG was going to get the ball to start the second half.
I also thought that. I'm glad we're both paying attention.
Oh, they did have that initial drive, the second play of the game. Myrick broke one down the sideline.
That's right. That was the first drive.
Then Hornets went 3 and out. I was thinking 3 and out was the first drive.
I was too. Well, that does change the game a lot more than I thought. See what the Hornets can do here. They look to pass on the first play. There's a man open. That is Brower with the reception. Nice throw there from Caden Rupert.
That right there, he just ran a wheel and stop. That wheel and stop route is about impossible to cover especially if you haven't seen it before. I haven't seen him run it the last couple weeks. What that does is puts those defenders in conflict. Number one receiver runs off and breaks to the inside on like a sluggo concept. He runs to the outside, so the guy's coming from the inside out to try to get over top of it. And then when you have that stop, that breakout, it's about impossible to get out there to make a play on the ball.
Rupert lines up, empty backfield. A little screen play here to Brower. Henser with a block. Brower lowers his shoulder and gets a couple more yards there. It'll be spotted just shy of the 40-yard line, I believe, at the 39. That'll bring up a 2nd and 6. Well, more 2nd and 5, I guess. So far, 2 good plays for the Hornet offense. That's certainly something we haven't seen the first half. I'd argue that's already their most productive 2 plays back-to-back they've had the whole game.
Yeah, they got to take some more shots like they've done to start this drive. They definitely have the athletes on the outside that are better than what BG has, so they got to take advantage of that as much as they can. Inside screen here.
Miscommunication there. I'm not sure that was intended for Beatrice. He had his back turned. I'm not sure what that problem was. I don't know if he wasn't aware what the play was, or maybe he was thinking he was going to break later. I'm not sure. That seemed like plenty of time for a screen to develop, that's for sure.
Well, I tell you what, that BG caught a break there. That was set up nice. That could have been to Musser, too. I'm not positive. Both of those guys were lined up in that slot set. They said that delay middle screen, and they were both kind of in position, but no one ever looked for the football. Henser in jet motion. It's a backwards pass there.
Big play there from Jacob Henser. He's down inside the 40, makes a man miss. Inside the 20, down to the 10, inside the 5, and a touchdown. What a play there from Jacob Henser. Checking out the replay, he completely puts a move on, I believe that was Kieswetter. He walks into the end zone for the first touchdown for the Hornets.
He showed some speed on that one. He was running like people were chasing him down that sideline. Well, I tell you what, that was a big play. That's kind of the funny thing about football. That ball was thrown backwards at the line of scrimmage, so that is technically going to be about a 60-yard rushing touchdown for Henser.
14-9 our score here before Jefferson Hill attempts the point after. Little high snap. Rupert gets a hold down. The kick is up. High kick. And it is no good. So we have a score of 14-9. And barring any, that is not as big a deal as you would think it would be. It could play a role here eventually. But as of right now, if defense holds up in the game, this low-scoring game, the way the points are set up, 5 to 4 points is not much of a difference.
I'm still a little shocked where that one missed at. That looked pretty darn good to me from here.
Even where it bounced, it looked like it bounced. I don't know. It looked pretty good, but it was really high, very high kick.
Hey, regardless of that, that was the exact answer that Juniata Valley needed. I mean, they come out and they score within 2 minutes to start the second half. That's exactly the answer they needed. It reminds me a lot of last week against Purchase Line. And they were down 2 touchdowns with about 3 minutes left in the first half. They were able to punch one in before the half. Then they came out and they scored 25 unanswered points to finish the game. But that right there, I think, as I said, we're coming out of the halftime. If Musser come in and challenge them, told them to do, they don't have to do anything crazy, but just do their job and do it well. Right there, that was it. Henser had a nice catch, and he turned on the jets and found some space downfield. I'm not sure who it was on the far side. I think it was Hunter Johnson. He had a real nice open field block there to help Henser spring him.
Jefferson Hill set to kick for the Hornets. Another high kick. It's way to the right. It'll be caught about the 15-yard line, 15, 16-yard line. Big hole. Big hole, and he breaks it loose. That is number 17. That is Kilmartin. He's down inside the 40. Jefferson Hill there to make the tackle and eventually push him out of bounds. That ball will be spotted at the 30-yard line of the Hornets. Great field position there to start out the Marauders' first drive of the second half.
Now, right after you come out and answer the bell to start with that touchdown drive, to give up a kickoff like that is, boy, you had all the momentum in the world on your side after that big touchdown catch by Henser, and then you just gave it right back right now. I got to give credit to Jefferson Hill. It wasn't a pretty tackle, but he saved 7 points on that one. 6 points. Meyer to the right side.
And there it is. He has a little bit of a hole there. He'll run out of bounds.
Sorry, I'm going a little Tony Romo here and calling out plays before they're ran, but coach and me just can't let that one go.
It'll bring up a 2nd down and 3. 2 minutes have yet to pass here in the second half. A lot of action so far. Myrick lines up.
Myrick off the left side now.
He takes the snap, and it will be Myrick on the left side. He gets a hole there. He'll get the first down and some more. The ball will be spotted just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. I will say I don't know football nearly as well as you do, but I can even see that coming. I really don't know what the Hornets are looking at there on defense, but
I really want to go play linebacker in this game. This take me back to my high school days. They're a little farther back than I'd like to admit right now, but
I'm kind of back in my high school days. This is exactly what I was doing about a year ago.
Yours was a year. Mine's like 15 at this point.
Well, we don't need to talk about that for you. As Myrick breaks a tackle, and he'll be brought down inside the 10-yard line at about the 6.
Now, we'll have to say this, too. I don't know what BG's trainers did at halftime, but Myrick sure seems like he's running with a little extra hip in his step here. Those last 2 runs have been pretty hard runs. Looks a little better than he did in the first half there when he was kind of had a little hitch in his giddy up at times.
9.5 to play here in the third quarter. We have a second down and very short one.
And to give it to Myrick off the right side here.
And it is Myrick off the right side. He'll get the first down and some more inside the 5 to the 2-yard line. It'd be really nice if we had a way to communicate with the Hornet defense right now. We could have told them the last 3 plays. Well, Coach could have told them. I'm just kind of here.
Can we get a Bluetooth earpiece and down the field or something like that?
I mean, that might help out, but it's a little late for that now, I think.
That's one of those things. I wish in high school football you could do that. You know, in college and the NFL, you're allowed to put an earpiece inside your quarterback's helmet. That's going to be Myrick off the right side here.
And there it is, Myrick off the right side. He'll be tripped up at the line. He falls forward, won't gain much on the play. It'll bring up a second down and goal.
Now that play right there, you know, I think Juniata Valley sniffed that out pretty good. Showalter looked like he slanted to that side that he was going to. And Beatrice, he just ran kind of head first in that lineman. He wasn't really going to make a tackle. He just kind of went kamikaze style, trying to blow the offensive line into the backfield, and it pushed it back. It made Myrick stop in his tracks, and then gave time to get there on the tackle. And
now
Myrick off the right side
and
again.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to try to beat you to it on that one, but I couldn't quite get there. And there it is, and there's a good play from the Hornet defense. That is number 60. I believe that's Isaac Watson.
Tell you what, I got to give Isaac Watson credit. He's kind of been a rotational player a lot of the year, especially on offense, but when he's playing linebacker on defense, last week he had a huge game. He started to walk up over the center, and I talked to him this week. He said the center was actually putting his head down and not even looking at him, and he was talking with the coach about it, and they gave him the go-ahead to walk up, and if the guy couldn't see him, just run right past him. There was one drive last week. He made all 3 stops in the backfield, and it just killed a purchase line drive.
And here it is, third down and goal at the 5-yard line. Myrick off the right side, and there it is. He will find a hole, and he'll be pushed down shy of the goal line. That'll bring up 4th and goal at the 1.
I tell you what, this is a huge play right here. They're down to the 1-yard line. I'd almost guarantee you that BG is going to go for this. You know, they're for most of the drive they were getting 3 yards anytime they wanted it. But if you're Juniata Valley and you get this stop right here, this momentum shift is going to be huge, absolutely huge.
Are we going to see Myrick here? Or are we going to see another pass play here?
I'm giving this to Myrick if I'm BG right now. There it is.
And they do. They got a good push. But he got a crease there, and he falls forward into the end zone for a Marauder touchdown. 6.5 minutes left on the clock in the third quarter. That'll bring our score up to 20-9 in favor of the Marauders. Only a 30-yard drive there from the Marauders, but they were able to take off about 4 minutes off that clock. Kieswetter on for the point after attempt. He's missed one so far in the game already. The kick is up and good. That gives us the score 21-9.
Now that 1 point right there was big, all right? Because now it's a 12-point game, so you just score 2 touchdowns. If you cap it at 11 points, if he misses that, then you go touchdown, 2-point conversion, and a field goal to tie it up. So that was a big 1 point there. I mean, we can even look back to it, the last one that Jefferson missed. At that point in time, you know, that 1 point could come back a little bit here, because that's the difference between 2 touchdowns versus a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and a field goal. Granted, the 2-point conversions are never a given, but it's at least a different way to do the math to get there.
I think it's going to be very important to see how the Hornets respond to this. They were able to come out there on their first drive of the second half and put points up quickly. They're going to need to do that once again here. And I think if they don't score within 3 minutes, it seems to be one of those games that the Hornets aren't going to be able to put together a really long, slow drive. They're going to have to score quickly in order to get some movement on that offense.
Just another game score while we're talking about it, too. It's like Richland and Bishop McDevitt are tied at 14 at the half. That'd be a big game to see. You know, Richland they got a real good team coming out of that double A from District 6, and you always want to pull for the local teams like that. I saw Richland a few of their games when we were prepping for our playoff game this year. And I tell you what, that's a good football team.
Gabe Brower will get the kick at about the 15-yard line. He tries to make a man miss. He scoots his way through the coverage team there and gets out across the 35. The ball will be spotted right around the 37-yard line. Nice return there from Brower.
Thank you, Quincy-Noble. I appreciate the
Big
comment.
shout out to Quincy-Noble watching. I'm not sure where you're watching from. If you're home, I'm glad you're sitting there nice and warm. Just last year, we were up here watching him do some damage to all these teams throughout their run through the state playoffs last year. Now the Hornet offense has a 1st and 10. Rupert drops back, little screen there to Brower. He gets it on the run, cuts back inside. He drags a couple men with him and will get down across the 50-yard line to the 48. 1st and 10 from there for the Hornet offense.
It's a nice little screen out to the bubble screen out to Brower there. You know, Henser had that big play last time. He scored the touchdown. That one, he had a pretty nice block. And when you're blocking those bubble screens, you don't have to get a lot of the guy. You just have to seal him. All right, you just go out and block and put 2 hands on him, make him decide which way he's going, and then that gives the guy with the screen a 2-way go.
Beatrice with the ball. He gets about 5 on the play. Nice run there. Clock rolls under 6 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 5 for the Hornets coming up.
On just a straight run like that, you know, no counteraction, nothing like that. That was probably one of the more successful runs of the night. Just straight ahead, kind of a belly play to the right side. But they got some movement up front and got it. Boy, BG is really crowding the line of scrimmage right now. They got one guy back deep at about 15 yards, and everybody else is within 3.
Pass over the middle. Jacob Henser gets it. He has some space to run. He breaks through, and he will score another touchdown for the Hornet offense. 5:15 on the clock. That is the 2nd score here in 2 drives for Jacob Henser. Well-designed play there from the Hornets.
You see right there, too, that was just a simple slant pass off the left side. He hit that slant, ran away from the corner, and I just commented about them crowding the line of scrimmage.
Yep.
All right,
No
right
one there.
there is an issue that they hit that ball about that 6-7 yard window right behind the left tackle, and then there was no one left. There was only one safety deep. He was back at 15 yards. When you're back that deep and he trailed back to about 20 on the snap, it put him out of position, and he wasn't able to get the angle on Henser, and Henser showed off his wheels again there.
They'll line up for the 2-point conversion here. Rupert under center, Beatrice in the backfield.
They're going to flip this to Grant Musser, and he's going to throw a pass.
Grant has it. He looks in the end zone. He has a man in the back of the end zone. He is wide open. That is Jacob Henser. Once again, I'm calling this game with Tony Romo. Called that play to perfection, and now we have a score 21-17.
I have to see that. That was one of their favorite plays. That was the play they scored on right before halftime last week against Purchase Line. They ran it for I almost scored on it earlier in the game against Purchase Line, and they ran it the week before against Homer Center.
And I'll tell you what, that's the first time I've seen that play because, like I said, I haven't been able to attend those games, and I'm only able to watch parts of them, but that was impressive there. I did not know that was coming. In fact, when you said Grant Musser was going to end up throwing the ball, I didn't even know Grant was on the field. But, hey, that worked, and with 5:15, the Hornets are now within 4.
Hope none of the BG coaches are watching our live feed right now. I don't want to be giving away anything else. Feel free to tell me next time if I start to give away a Hornet call. I'll try to keep them under my hat, and I'll just call out what BG is going to run. How about that?
Now, we don't run a biased network here at Hornet TV, but I'm okay with that as Jefferson Hill gets set to kick here. We'll see what he does this time. He's kicked one through the back of the end zone. He's kicked a couple short, a couple mid-range, I'd say. This one is a little squibber. Takes a high bounce. It will be picked up at the 30-yard line. That is number 21, Johnston, on the return. He gets to about the 44, 45-yard line.
It's one of those times right there, the squib kick doesn't necessarily work out the way you want it. When you squib it real hard and low, you hope it scoots by, and it takes them a little bit of time to try to pick it up and a little more time for your coverage team to get down there. On that one, he was able to pick it up pretty clean. It didn't get very deep, so now they end up with pretty good field position here. Myrick's going to run off the left side right now.
And there's Myrick on the left side. He gets knocked down in the backfield. That might have been a Mark Sanchez butt fumble type deal there. I don't think a defender hit him. He ran directly into the back of his lineman, I believe.
Unfortunately, he did not fumble that football, though.
I think a butt fumble is once in a generation type thing.
Mark Sanchez will never hear the end of that one, that's for sure.
It'd be really nice if Mark Sanchez was watching us right now. He definitely isn't, but...
If he is, a shout-out to Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
He had a great career at USC, not so much in the NFL, but...
Do have one memorable play. Involves his lineman's butt. Nevertheless...
To the left. Myrick to the left side.
Myrick takes it over the left side. This is almost getting too easy, and I think the Hornet defense, they're starting to pick up on this because that's 2 plays in a row where they 2 negative plays in a row, and they'll bring up a 3rd and long now.
I don't know if you can tell or not. You know, it's hard to tell when you're watching on TV, I'm sure, but right now there's some juices flowing on that Juniata Valley sideline. They're feeling a little bit. I can hear the crowd from across the field getting into it, and they definitely seize that momentum back. You know, they gave up that touchdown to BG, but that second touchdown by Henser has definitely flipped the field again. Look at this defense.
Low snap. Pass play here from Kieswetter. Across the middle of the field, he has a man open. He'll be taken down right at the first down marker. He will have enough for a first down. Gain of 12 on the play.
I did not foresee that one coming. It was only their second pass of the game. That was their first pass of the game tonight from a quarterback.
That'll bring up a 1st and 10 now. Clock rolls down to 3.5 to play here in the 3rd quarter. That's a big play for the Marauders. Hornet defense needs to tighten down again and try to get a stop here.
Myrick left side.
Myrick takes it across the left side. He's met in the backfield, stood up and knocked down. Loss of about 1 on the play.
I tell you what, Henser's having himself a ball game tonight. That's the second time he's come up and laid a stick, and it wasn't the prettiest tackle in the world. He came in and made some contact. He didn't wrap him up, but he was able to knock him down with that stick. So that's a couple nice defensive plays he's had, a couple nice blocks, and then, of course, the 2 long touchdowns that he's had to the house. Just think that boy hasn't played football in how many years, too. Probably Myrick right side now. No, wait, Myrick's on the sideline. I'll take that back.
This is a sweep here. Number 4 on the carry. We have a flag in the area of holding, and it is holding on the offense. That's big. That was Conrad on the carry. He gained a couple, but that will not matter. That ball will be taken back after the penalty. That 10-yard penalty will send them back. They'll have a 2nd down and forever. It's a long way to go.
We're going to call this 2nd in a country mile. Just saw one a couple weeks ago. I think it was against Homer Center. Homer Center had I think it was a 2nd and 51, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we have another passing down here, and they do pass the ball. They get the ball out, a little screen play here.
He's still up.
He's still
up.
on his feet. He's carried like 6 or 7 yards. I believe that is, not sure who that was.
It's 30 or 25, wasn't it? 25 or 28?
That would be Homan. Yeah. Homan is number 25. I'm not sure.
No, 20. I'm sorry.
20.
It was 20. 25's coming into the game now. think that was Ryan Nagola.
After that play, it'll bring up a 3rd and 15 from the 50-yard line. Hornets need to get a stop here. Another passing down here, and they do drop back to pass.
Myrickson is a wide receiver.
Over through the middle of the field. There, they have a man open. He'll be taken down after a gain of 16. That'll be enough for a first down. That was Homan on the reception. That is now twice on this drive where the Marauders have had a 3rd and long, and they are able to just get enough for that first down.
Tell you what, for a team that doesn't throw the ball a lot, that play and the one for the first down the last time, they were both pretty nice pass design concepts. And the quarterback, for as much changeover as they've had at quarterback this year, he threw some pretty decent balls. He got a powered eye set. They're going to run this to the right side.
And they do. That is to McCloskey, the fullback. He keeps pushing. Couple broken tackles there. He'll carry a couple guys about 9 yards. That'll bring up a 2nd and short situation.
He was rumbling and fumbling and stumbling on that one. He was just carrying tacklers. He did not want to go down.
I see we have over 700 viewers right now. That's awesome. Keep sharing this link out and telling all your friends to see if we can't get this up to 800 here during the 4th quarter. There's under 30 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 2.
Last week we hit 500. This is definitely a new high.
McCloskey's met in the backfield. He's taken down from behind. We got some late hit action going on downfield. I'm not sure what's going on there. They're getting a little bit rough. I saw some little scuffles starting here and there on that last Hornet drive. That'll be the last play of the 3rd quarter. We have a score: Marauders 21, Juniata Valley 17.
I tell you what, I think Hornets got a little lucky on that last one. They, I think they might have clipped a face mask on the way by. That would have gave them the first down, but hey, no harm, no foul. They didn't see it. I'm good with it.
Coming out of the 3rd quarter here to start the 4th quarter, the Marauders will have a 3rd and very short one to gain here. They've been able to convert on 2 or 3 3rd downs already on this drive. I know 2 very long 3rd down conversions.
Tell you, this is going to be a big drive here. Especially if the Hornets can get a stop here, whether it's on this play or it's on the next one, to get this ball back and not give up another score early in the 4th quarter is going to be huge for the outcome of this game. If they can get a stop right now, get back and see if maybe they can hit Hensher for another one downfield, another house call. Boy, I like their chances. But at the same time, I'm sure BG right now is thinking, yeah, let's get the momentum back. Let's go up. They're also going to want to try to burn a little clock here. This is a tough one right now with, BG being a hard run team. I'm sure we're going to see some power football to pick up this first down. Number 3's back in the game. Based on this formation, I'm pretty sure we can figure out where they're going.
It's going to be...
Look at that heavy to the right. It's going to be Myrick to the right side.
And we got a shift.
Now he's going to get Myrick to the left side.
And that is the case. Nowhere to go, and he's met in the backfield and taken down. He will not get the first down. That'll be a 4th down. Big 3rd down play there.
Eli Mortar had a heck of play on that. He's not a real big guy. He came up from a secondary position. He kind of snuck through. He made it into the backfield and stopped him. And Grant Musser was able to run down from the backside.
All right, Coach, 4th and 3. Are you going for this?
Yeah, I think you got to go for this. Right now, heck, we're in. This is 42-yard field goal territory, so I think that's out of the equation. Last year they probably kicked this, but
I don't think that's not Myrick out. Myrick is not on the field, I don't believe.
That's the big boy. I'm going to say they're going to give it to the big boy off the left side here. Oh, it's false start.
That's a false start. That has to be a false start. Oh, I'm not so sure.
There's a bunch of pointing.
Oh, no.
There's a bunch of pointing.
I think they're going to – they called this on the defense. That is – I'm going to go ahead and say it. That is a bad call. There was an obvious false start on that offense.
Can we get a replay? Can we get a replay on this one to see?
It might
who
be too
even
far
moved?
gone.
I'm just curious because I didn't see anyone in white move.
I think
but I saw the fullback flinch.
I saw a couple guys in white move after the fullback flinched in direct reaction to him flinching. That was very obvious.
Now, the fullback, if he flinches, he could go lateral and make it like a motion.
Well, he definitely didn't do that, though. He definitely went forward, that's for sure. The ball was handed off to McCluskey. Gains a couple on that play. Gain of 4. It'll bring up a 2nd and 6.
Got a little pushed off that left side, and definitely after that penalty, giving up the easy first down, it's a little bit of a kick in the guts. But you got to be able to recover from that quickly, because BG's going to line right up and they're going to run it right downhill at you again. Yep. They got to be able to step up here.
Got to move on to the next play. This next play is 2nd down and 6. 10.5 to play here in the 4th quarter. That is Kieswater. He keeps it himself and is met in the backfield. He'll lose a couple. Big play there for the Hornet defense. It seems like on this entire drive, the Hornets have come so close to just getting a complete stop. They just haven't been able to capitalize on all these big plays.
I want to say thank you to some of our viewers. I just got a text message. I wasn't sure about that offsides, and I just had someone text in that Andrew Miller, one of my football players. I appreciate you texting in, letting me know what happened on that. But I got to say, this is pretty fun. We got this fan interaction going on back and forth. I've had 4 or 5 people text me, and I know you're the same way over here,
yeah.
Jay.
I mean, my phone's blowing up, but I just put it in my pocket because I got to focus on this. I get distracted pretty easily. 3rd down and 7 here. We got a pass play. Kieswater rolls out to the right. He throws across, and it is almost intercepted. Should have been intercepted there. Grant Musser had a chance at it there. That would have been a nice play to make there. But after the incompletion, 9.5 to play here. 4th down and 8.
Now, I think they're obviously going for this right now because, at least off of what I've seen so far, I mean, their kicker really hasn't shown me anything that this is in his range. And we have a BG expert down right a row or 2 in front of us, in front of the box, and he just yelled that they're going for it. So I'm going to take his advice on this one as well.
I'll tell you what, that is telling that they don't have a kicker, because in this situation, this close, you want to put 3 points up on that board. And we get a timeout called by the offense. I wonder if that's just going to try to draw up the right play. It's almost a necessary passing down. They've had some more success than I thought they have through the air throughout this game so far.
I know right now, too, that's a good job using the timeout. You want to make sure you have a good play call here. Because I'm going to say, if you pick up this first down, chances are you're probably scoring. And if you score here with about 8 minutes left in the game, that could be just about all she wrote. So I'm curious to see what happens here. I think they almost have to throw this ball, but I'd be ready for something tricky here. Maybe they ran that jet sweep pass earlier, maybe a hook and ladder type thing. Anything like that. Whatever you got, whatever your best play is, whatever you feel best about getting 10 yards on this one, hey, let it all hang out. I know I was never afraid to call a few trick plays. So whatever you got, whatever you feel good about, maybe something that Juniata Valley hasn't seen on film yet, try it. Nothing else. This could be the last game of the year. You don't want to hold anything back.
Myrick lines up on the far side, 2 men on the near side. Kieswater with a man in his backfield. Myrick will go in motion. He'll move to the left side. Goes back across. Not sure what's going on here. Drops back to pass. He's under pressure. He's got to get rid of it. He's still being chased around. He throws it in the middle of the field, and the pass will fall incomplete. Turnover on down. That's a big play here in this game.
Boy.
So with 9:21 left to play, the Hornets will have the ball at their own 20-yard line.
I don't know if you saw it or not. He was back there scrambling. There wasn't even a whole lot of pressure. All right, he got a antsy. Number 3, Myrick, was in the left corner of the end zone with no one within 10 yards of him at one point. He's jumping up and down, doing jumping jacks, screaming for the football, and the quarterback never saw him.
He wasn't the only one that never saw him. I never saw him either. I was focusing too much on that quarterback running around.
This is a big time for Juniata Valley to respond right now.
Beatrice will get the handoff. He's met at the line of scrimmage. There's nothing doing for him there. Gain of about half a yard, maybe a yard on the play. 2nd and 9 now.
It's not really the way you want to start that drive. I mean, they barely got anything on that one. You know, you hope to start a drive with a big chunk play, something to even shoot that momentum in your favor a little bit more here. Come out in this trip set, I imagine we're going to throw the ball here.
3 men on the far side, 1 on the near side. Rupert drops back to pass, throws it. Brower on the far side, I believe he's in, and he is in for a catch right at the first down marker. That will be a first down for the Hornets. I'll be honest, when Rupert let that ball go, I didn't think there was any chance there of that being a completion.
That was that wheel comeback route again that they ran down here about the 30-yard line going right to left earlier in the game. Looked the same one again. That wasn't a great pass, but it got the job done.
So that brings up 1st and 10 now, under 9 minutes to play. Hornets trail by 4. Another pass play. It is broken up at the line of scrimmage. Good job there by the defensive end, Hayden Fox. He knew he wasn't going to get to the quarterback on that play, so he just tried to catch his eyes there and met that ball as it went over top of him.
That was frustrating right there, too. It looked like they had, I think it was either Henser or Brower on the top side there. They were open on like a hitch. Looked like a hitch and a slant. There was a guy open. It wouldn't have been for a first down, but it would have been probably 5-6 yards, which makes it a manageable 3rd down.
Rupert passes again. He's going to be hit in the backfield.
Oh,
that ball is out. The ball is out. And waiting to hear from the officials here, and it is the Marauders' ball. That is a turnover for the Hornet offense. Rupert just did not see that hit coming.
That was number 1, Janishak. Like I said earlier in the year, he has double-digit sacks on the season. He came through the right tackle quickly. I'm not sure who the right tackle was. He came through him real quick. He was lined up in that wide 9 technique that I alluded to earlier, where you got to step out to him. He came right off the edge, and he hit him. I don't think Rupert ever saw him, and that ball never came back up.
So 1st and 10 for the Marauders down at the 22-yard line.
Jet sweep. Nope, backside.
McCloskey has it. He stays on his feet. I thought he was already down. He stays up on his feet and gains about 5.
All right, right now if you're BG, there's 8 minutes left in the game. Yes, you obviously want to score here, but you want to use absolutely as much time as possible, try to burn this clock up. You would love to score right now with about 4 minutes left on the clock.
2nd down and 6 coming up, under 8 minutes here to play. We're just shy of 800 viewers right now. That's awesome. Certainly are watching a really good football game here as the Marauders line up for their 2nd down play. Another handoff here to McCloskey. He goes up the middle, bounces off a couple guys, and he should have enough there for a first down at the 10-yard line.
And again, right now, when you're Juniata Valley, you're fighting, obviously, the Marauders' offense, but you're also fighting the clock a little bit now. You're already down 4, and then if you do give up a touchdown here, that extra point becomes huge. If you're down 4 and they take it to 6 and they score the touchdown, it makes it a 10-point. I mean, it's touchdown to field goal at that point, and that's a lot easier than a touchdown to 2-point in a field goal. Quarterback.
Keyswater keeps it himself. He does have a hole there, but it's hit hard down at the 6-yard line.
It looked like Henser again came up and make that tackle. he came to play football tonight.
I think best case scenario here for the Hornets, well, of course, best case scenario would be a turnover here, but what they need to do is be able to stop them somehow and try to force a field goal. I would hope that inside, at this distance, you almost have to try to take 3 points here if you're the Marauders.
I think it's going to be all about where you're at on 4th down. If you're about 4 yards or less, you go for it. Especially, a run team like this, that big offensive line, you're going to go for it. If it's over 4 yards, probably kick it. Quarterback up the middle here.
Gain about 3 on the play, maybe. Down to the 3-yard line.
So now all of a sudden, in my mind, this is 2-down territory here.
Yeah.
All right, you're inside the 5. You should be able to, 2 yards a clip. That's not asking for a whole awful lot from your offense, and that's asking a lot of the defense to hold them to under 2 yards. So right now, you're looking at 2 chances at this. They do have Myrick back in the game. Now he's lined up as a wide receiver to the top. I wouldn't be shocked to see a sweep or something to him. Nope.
Keyswater keeps it himself. He finds a hole, and he will be in for a Marauder touchdown. So with 5:45 left to play in this game, the Marauders now will be leading 27-17 before the point after attempt. If you're BG here, you have to go for 2, trying to make it a 2-touchdown game. Marauders are trying to figure out what they're going to do here.
Sorry, William Emery. I didn't see the comments. Mr. Wakefield's over here hogging them all, so I think he's watching in Hawaii right now, so I'm thinking he might be our farthest viewer for tonight.
And that brings up a good point. If you're farther away from central Pennsylvania than Hawaii, please leave a comment. I doubt we'll have anybody farther than that, although I will say last year during this football run, we had someone tune in from Australia, and we were able to track them back to actually show they were in Australia, which is honestly insane to think about. The Marauders took a timeout there. They're now down to 1 timeout.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with watching a little JV football down under. All right, now this is a big play. All right. Again, we'll see what happens here. It is a 10-point game right now. This extra point could be huge. Where the time's at, too, you're looking at 5:45. Juniata Valley, when you get the ball back, if you want to score quick, all right, if you score with more than about 4 minutes on the clock, you still have all 3 timeouts. So if you score with more than 4 minutes, you probably can kick it deep and play defense and burn those timeouts. If you score under 4 minutes, you're probably looking at having to onside kick after that. And, the onside kick's a tough thing to pull off at any level.
This is a big play here. 2-point conversion attempt here for the Marauders.
Zone read.
It is a reverse
pass to the quarterback.
And that is a brilliant play call there. They're able to convert and take our score up to 29-17. And right there, that goes to show how much that 1 point does come into play here, because now it's a 2-touchdown game.
Yep. Now it's a 12 points. So you have to have 2 touchdowns. The field goal does you nothing. So Coach Wheeler knew exactly what I was talking about there when I said how important that 1 point was. He went for 2, tried to take that out of the equation. Now again, like I said, if you're Juniata Valley, you got to score really quick here. If you can score within 2 minutes, you can still kick it deep. You can still use the timeouts and play defense. Hold them 3 and out and get the ball back. But if you get under that 4-minute mark till you score, then you're probably going to have to go onside kick. We'll see what type of onside kick Jefferson Hill has. But, we're getting ahead of ourselves, obviously. You got to get the first score first. You can't take anything for granted. You can't assume that they're going to score a touchdown here, then start thinking ahead. But those are just some thoughts that come to my mind as a coach of things you got to have to cover going forward here in this game and with clock management.
Speaking of clock, there's 5:45 left to play here. If you're a BG here, Coach, what are you thinking here on this kickoff? Kick it short to avoid a big return, because the Hornet return team they have some fast athletes that can break one loose here and score in a hurry.
I'd probably try to drop this right about the 30-yard line if I'm them.
And they go a little deep. It'll be picked up at the 15.
He got it clean,
Brower
too.
has it. He's met at the 30. Nothing really going there, so the Hornets will have to go down about 70 yards down the field to score a touchdown here. They still have all 3 timeouts, but they need to keep them in their pocket.
Yeah, right now you can feel it too. You know, we're in the booth on the BG side, but you can really start to feel the energy coming from the stands and from their sideline. They're really starting to sniff that trophy right now. So Juniata Valley's got to answer right now if they want their season to continue. I would look to see, you know, I look up top, I see, you know, the top 2 receivers, Henser and Brower. They got man coverage on them. They have cover 1. I'd look to see if maybe you could invert those routes a little bit or have some combo routes with those 2 up top. Try to rub those guys off a little bit on the defensive side to give them some room.
Encroachment call there on the defense. That'll give the Hornets 5 more yards there. Now, as a offensive coordinator here, are you keeping the same play call that you just had?
Probably so. Nothing really happened. They saw the guy coming in jet motion, but nothing happened out of it. There it is, taking a shot. Brower.
He comes back to the ball, and it is intercepted. It is tipped and intercepted. That is Myrick with it. He'll be thrown down around the 48 or 49-yard line. And with 5.5 minutes to play and a 12-point lead, the Marauders have the ball. And I will say Caden Rupert was hit hard on that, and he is getting up very slowly. It looks like he's holding his arm. I'm not sure if his arm was hit on the throw. I hope he's okay.
You want to hear something crazy, too? Two years ago, that right there, that play by the defender, was pass interference. All right, because it was last year or 2 years ago maybe. That's where they allowed face guarding again in high school football. So that guy was beat. The ball was underthrown. And if you saw the defender, he never looked back for the ball.
Never turned once.
He was watching the eyes of the receiver. Whenever Brower's eyes get big, when he puts his hands up, he put his hands up, ended up face guarding him. I think it hit him in kind of is either the back of the elbow or the side of the helmet, and it popped up, and the safety just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and you know that's just that's unfortunate. That's a killer interception right now for Juniata Valley. Because now you're put in a bad position. There's 5:30 left. You need to conserve as much clock as possible, but you're still down 2 scores, so you can't burn those timeouts right away. And every one of these, every first down the BG gets right now is worth about 2 minutes of clock time. So right now they could really run this down to 3:30 even if they don't get another first down.
Ball is handed off there. I believe that's McCluskey. He gets a bunch on that first down play, about 6. Bring up a short 2nd and 4.
You know, when you give up 5 yards on first down like that, that makes it tough to try to get that 3 and out, you know. I almost guarantee you they're going to be in 4-down territory now, down under 5 yards. They're not going to do anything crazy. They're not going to do anything in the backfield that would give up lost yardage plays. It's just going to be downhill, hard runs. Looks like they're going to keep feeding 42 here. They're probably thinking they want to try to keep number 3 healthy for next week.
And he breaks one loose, and he will be in a chase, and he'll go down inside the 5, and he'll walk into the end zone for a Marauder touchdown. That'll give us a score of 35-17 in favor of Bishop Guilfoyle with 4:40 on the clock. That pretty much locks this game up for Bishop Guilfoyle.
Boy, I tell you what, that was a good football game. Then it got to 21-17 there, you know, and the Hornets scored coming out of the half to tighten it up, and you know things were looking good, and then they give up that the big kickoff return and the touchdown. Then they have the turnover, the fumble, the strip sack, and the turnover and they gave up a touchdown, and then with the interception here, so that kind of got away from them really, really quickly there.
We have a penalty here on the point after attempt.
Now, if you're wondering why they declined that, chances are, you know, the guy was already set up to where he likes to kick from. He's practiced those extra points from 7 yards behind the center on every time. Practice it from the 10-yard line. So moving it forward 1.5 yards really does nothing, and it takes him out of where he's practiced at. So if you were wondering why you would decline that in that situation, that's why.
So after that, point after attempt is good. That gives us a score 36-17 in favor of Bishop Guilfoyle. At this point, I think if you're the Hornets, you just want to put some more points up. Go out with your heads held high.
I mean, hey, like I said earlier, you know, this is one now. You got to score quick. You got to score in a hurry. I mean, still 4:40 left on the clock. It's not quite the nail in the coffin yet. It's getting a little tighter. It's getting down in time. You're starting to see it slip away. But, I mean, hey, you return this kickoff for a touchdown, onside kick, score again, onside kick, score again. I mean, I'm saying there's a chance. I'm saying there's still a chance. It's a little slim, but there is a chance.
With time still on the clock, like you said, there's always a chance.
Hey, they always say it's not over till the fat lady sings. Nice close-up of Brooke Mooney from her post outside of the press box.
Hornets will start their drive at the 35-yard line.
I don't know if you could hear that referee's call on that one. He almost sounds like he's bored calling the penalties in. I mean,
Yeah.
To try to replicate it, he was like, has a kick interference. Ball's 35. Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
like he's about ready to go home.
Well, I'd be cold if I was down there. I don't know how many clothes they can fit under their attire that they wear, but it is good to see Caden Rupert is at quarterback. I wasn't so sure if he was okay or not. He gets one to Grant Musser. Grant gets about 5 on the play. It'll bring up second down and 5.
Got to get some chunk yardage here really quick. Got to take a chance. I mean, you got to take some shots here. You got to score quick. So I could definitely see, you know, a shot play to Henser or to Brower. Kind of curious. Hunter Johnson's not in the game right now. Oh wait, no, he's in the slot receiver. I see him now. And another screen to the outside. That one there was to. Well, that was Noah Giles on that play. Little wide receiver screen. He gets about 4 or 5. He gets out of bounds. It's good enough for a first down. Still 4:30 left on the clock.
Brower shoots the pass off, and it is almost intercepted.
No, that hit the ground.
I think
that
it did too,
ground.
and that's what the officials say. .421 on the clock now.
Again, like I said, that you want to take some chances. You got to try some stuff. That was another halfback pass type thing there. I wouldn't be shocked. Valley always seems to run a hook and ladder at some point in the year. I don't know if they ran one or not yet this year. Actually, they did run one for a touchdown at one point. Rupert drops the football. He just gets rid of it. That's going to bring up 3rd and 10. Unfortunately, if he had some time, it looked like Musser was open over on the left side of the field for about a 5 or 6 yard gain at least, but maybe he makes a guy miss and turns it into more there.
3rd and 10 now for the Hornets. I'd like to take a moment and thank everybody for tuning in to us this evening. Also like to thank our crew here, Hannah Thatcher, Josh Wakefield, and Brooke Booney. Rupert drops back to pass. Going to be a screen. Beatrice gets it. He has some blockers in front of him. He keeps pushing. He'll get down across the 50-yard line down to about the 48. Bring up a 4th and 3.
He had some blockers there, but the defenders looks like they made their way through the junk there in the middle of the field and were able to wrap him up. I thought they were going to get a little better result on that play.
4th down play here. Rupert will drop back to pass. He gets the pass off to Brower. He catches it. He'll have the 1st down and some more. He'll be taken out of bounds inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. 3.5 to play now in this District 6 championship game. Rupert drops back to pass. He'll go for the long ball. He has Henser, and that almost should have been pass interference. I thought I saw a push there. No call there. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. Under 3.5 to play now.
That would have been a big one right there. I think that was one. Henser, he kind of ran right down the sideline. He didn't give himself a whole lot of room to work. You want to, work your way back in, 3 or 4 yards off the sideline, so you do have a little cushion. By the time he got there, he was kind of tiptoeing along the sideline. It's unfortunate because he did have a step on the defender.
Rupert gets one off, and will be intercepted. Another interception there. I'm not sure who that was on the interception. I'll try to see who it was here. Number 74. That's Jack Donahue. And with 3:20 left, the Marauders will have the ball on the 41-yard line.
Now, now you're in miracle territory here. I hate to say it. You hate to say that you get to this point in a game that, there's not much of a chance, but this is the time now. You got to be hoping for a miracle. You got to get a turnover. Something crazy happen. They fumble a snap because they're not going to do anything crazy. Right now, they're going to give the ball to 42 off the right side. Right there it was, and they're going to say, "Go ahead and stop."
He'll break it loose. He'll break it loose and go down inside the 40. That's a 1st down there. I'm going to go ahead and say it. BG's going to move on here into the playoffs, throughout the playoffs. This will be Juniata Valley's last game of the year. A great season for that team. Like you said, a 6-game win streak.
Yeah, and too, if you want to think about it, they lost to 2 teams this year in the regular season. They lost to Bellwood. That was a team who went undefeated, and they went toe-to-toe with Ligonier Valley in the AA playoffs. They lost to Tussey Mountain by a point, I believe. It was either a point or 2.
Yep, and that was a very sloppy game, too.
And Tussey Mountain, I didn't see that game. But Tussey Mountain, they won the District 5 championship. They ran into the buzzsaw of Farrell last week, which, that's one of those ones that, if you say you come out of this side of the bracket, if you're, BGE, or if Valley would have came through, I think they would play the winner of Lackawanna Trail, who Valley played last year in the Final Four, and I forget who they play, but then you're probably running into the Farrell Steelers in Hershey, and well, I tell you what, that's a team loaded. Loaded with college prospects.
And they won last year as well, right?
Farrell?
Yeah.
Oh, they won big.
Yeah, it was like 70-something.
I think it was 42-7 over Lackawanna Trail at halftime, I believe.
Yeah. Another Big play here from the Marauders. On the carry there was number 80, Hayden Fox.
He's still down on the play, too. Looked like he kind of got high load. I'm not sure who the deep guy was, but there was 2 guys chased him from behind and one from in front. And the guy in front kind of dived for the leg, and he got rolled up on over top. But that just looks like a cramp right now. It always amazes me that people get cramps in cold weather games. You think of that of the really hot, humid games. But on the other side of things, you get a cold game like tonight, last thing you want to do is spray ice cold water on yourself and down your jersey and everything, and it makes it colder. But the problem is you don't hydrate, and you can still get cramps even if it is 32 degrees out right now. Give him a packet of mustard or a little bit of salt and some chips or something like that, and he'll be good to go.
I'd like to mention here the scoreboard does say it's 32 degrees. I'm going to go ahead off on a limb and say it's colder than that. Real feel here is probably in the 20s, mid to low 20s.
Yeah, I'd say mid-20s if I had to guess. Not near as bad in the press box here. That was one of those things. I was definitely happy that I was able to get this VIP type treatment here tonight, where I could sit in the press box and not have to sit out in the stands. But
I will give some credit here to the Mansion Park staff. They do such a great job with because we come in as media. We get these nice fancy orange passes. Basically, that way no one yells at you for walking into a place you're not supposed to be. It's very well organized and easy to deal with.
Fumble.
We do have a fumble, and I think he picked it right back up.
That was the stuff I was calling for a little bit ago. Those are the crazy things you need to happen. I wouldn't be shocked if they go back to a shotgun set or something here now too. Especially now if the guy hasn't taken a lot of snaps under center.
Well, let me ask you this, Coach. You're Coach Musser on the far sideline. You have 3 timeouts. Are you using them at all?
Probably not.
Probably not. If I'm BG here, I would just be taking a knee.
Bad fumble again.
And they got it back again.
I mean, right now, Musser's not going to take a timeout.
No.
I mean, the classy thing to do if you're BG is to just take a knee right here. Because, they're going to have to run one more play. But, I mean, if I'm BG right now, I just take a knee. And, I would take a second to, just give a shout-out to the Juniata Valley seniors. Unfortunately, this is their last game. This is not how they imagined it when they woke up this morning, how this day would end. This is, it's unfortunate that your last game ever as a high school football player is going to be a loss. But unless you make it to Hershey and host that trophy at the end of the year, it's going to be a loss in the end. Now they're taking a knee, and Coach Wheeler's going to be a little upset right now. He just got an ice bath. But I will say, too, congratulations to Bishop Guilfoyle. It was a hard-fought game, and they're going to be your 2019 District 6 Class A single-A champions, and they'll move on to the Final Four in the state.
Just to go off what you said there, what a game. Like you said, at one point it was 21-17 in the fourth quarter. I mean, if 2 or 3 plays go a different direction, we could have a different outcome here. That's how good a game we had. I'd like to take a second here and thank all of our viewers that tuned in this evening here on Hornet TV. I'd also like to thank our crew once more, Hannah Thatcher, Josh Wakefield, and Brooke Booney. I'd like to thank the Hornet TV and Hornet TV community for allowing me to come back after graduating last year. I really thought I never would come back to commentate these games, but they've brought me back on their journey throughout this season, in 2019 season. I'd also like to thank Coach Shane Thomas here alongside me for filling in when I couldn't be here and for joining me today. It was a lot of fun, Coach. Had a great time. Hopefully maybe next year we can do something similar to this on another playoff run.
I got to be honest with you. I hope my team's still playing next year. It's unfortunate, from my side of things, that I was able to be here, but if I couldn't have been coaching through this playoff run, this was a fun experience to get to commentate some of these games. And plus, too, I coached at Juniata Valley for the last 7 years. Not this season, of course, but I coached the last 7 years. So every one of those kids out in the field, I had the opportunity to coach, and they're a good group of kids. You know, I'm proud of the success they've had, and of course you feel for them that when it ends like this as well. But again, thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
And once again, we have a final score, 36-17 here in the District 6 championship game in favor of the Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders. From J. Max Hurley and Coach Shane Thomas, thank you for watching. Have a good evening, everyone.